Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and welcome to the 101st episode of the Woo Crew podcast, live.
Live? Why is it live, Sean?
I'm here as always with my co-host Matthew, and we're here to talk about all things going on in the LEGO world this week. Why are we live this week? That's a very good question, Masky. Thank you for asking. It is obviously because we thought this podcast would be the most fun if we had an engaging, unique conversation with our viewers.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
No, what actually happened is Monday night we sat down and we filmed an hour-long podcast, and then I went to go edit it this morning, and I went, oh, I have no audio. Matthew sounded fine, but there was no Bricks by Mind audio, so it was an hour of me just making faces and Matthew talking to himself. So I was like, what are we gonna do? And now we've refilmed in the past, but in my opinion, refilming's not the most fun because it's just like we're having a conversation we already had.
It kind of sucks.
It kind of stinks. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll still talk about the Crystallized episodes, because obviously people want to hear our thoughts on that. But we'll have that conversation with the chat, so that way we can, I don't know, it's like, it's not just a two-person conversation, it's a, how many viewers do we have? 36, it's a 38-person conversation.
Yep.
So I think it'll be a little more fun this way, a little more unique this way, and it'll stay up on the channel. This is an official episode of the podcast. It's not like we're taking this down after the stream's over. Oh, mine is frozen. No! No, this is not a good start. Hold on.
Okay.
Whoops. Okay. I'm back. Oopsie.
Something else to note, we also got some new reveals since we did film originally.
Yes. Yes, we have. Okay, guys, don't say Mike muted. I know Mike is not muted. I know the mic is fine. Let me know if anybody's too quiet or too loud, but I know the mic is at least picking up audio and should be streaming it. Off to a great start. See, this is the stuff I normally cut out of the actual podcasts.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to talk about all things going on in the LEGO world this week, but first, a real quick shout out to all the YouTube members helping support the channel, and a very special thank you to Pyro Whipper Tier and above, who are... Hold on, give me a second. Let me pull them up. I have a list of names, but I know we got one new one this week, which is very exciting.
We did?
Yeah, guylego became a Pyro Whipper Tier. Guylego's been a member for a while, but not Pyro Whipper Tier.
Okay.
Yeah, so shout out to guylego, Tumbleweed, Nicholas Miller, Craftmastr, and Suntan. If you're the viewer want to become a YouTube member, go click that join button next to the subscribe button. And because we're live right now, if you become a YouTube member during this podcast, we'll shout you out during the podcast, even if you're not Pyro Whipper Tier, actually. Anyone who becomes a member during the podcast, I always shout out. But during the live, I mean, I always shout out.
So, along with discussing things, because it's a live stream, I'm also going to be doing some building today.
Yeah, I am not doing any building. I am simply running the podcast, you know. I'm going to be talking to chat. So
check that out.
That's pretty cool. That's actually really sick.
Right?
Yeah.
I really like that design. I just need to find some like tiles or something to go in the middle.
Yeah.
But
that's really cool.
I'm planning for the viewers. Matthew likes to build really big mocks, and my LEGO store today got new Build-A-Minifigure parts in, which means they got the parts to make this minifigure in. And knowing Matthew, I got 9 Build-A-Minifigures, and I now have 25 of this minifigure, and I ordered 25 of the knight, it's not really a knight, it's more just like a medieval soldier from the blacksmith shop. So I will have 50 medieval soldiers, as well as when the new castle comes out, I'll be buying that. So I'll be getting those. But it's time for me to build a castle mock, because a LEGO store has been really stocked up with good castle building parts lately. So I'll be like messing around with some building techniques for that today. So that's Matthew's little spiel. I'm sure that was only interesting to me, but
people, I see someone talking about in the chat. People wanted to see more about your Black Pearl. They were very interested in the last podcast we did.
Did people comment about it?
Yeah, someone's like, "Wow, Matthew has the Black Pearl," and I was like, "That is a custom Black Pearl," and they're like, "Whoa."
Yes, Matthew. Should I go grab it?
If it's easy to grab, I think people might like to see
it. Really isn't. It's not super easy to grab,
well,
but it's a very large custom Black Pearl.
Maybe we need to make a Matthew made a mock video at some point about it.
Maybe one day I'll make a video about that, but it's probably somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 pieces. I don't know, honestly.
Somewhere between 3 pieces and 6,000 pieces. I could agree to that.
Yes. Henry is here. Hi, Henry.
Shout out to Henry, real one.
But Yeah, Matthew has built quite a few mocks. I usually build about one a year. But it's that time of year.
It's that time of year.
It's always this time of the year too. Like every year, it's right around May.
May is mock building. I guess that's when school gets out. Probably that's why.
Well, yeah, that's usually kind of what it is. Anyways, we've got a lot to talk about. Is that Helm's Deep? Yeah, Helm's Deep is right there.
Yep. You actually, yeah. I guess this is their first time. I'm like, why is everyone freaking out about your setup? We already filmed here, but that was in the episode that was lost, so
yes,
nobody has seen the setup.
What can they see? I can't really see my camera so well.
What do you mean?
Is there a way to like make my like little mini camera bigger, like so I can see what I look like?
I don't know if Skype can do that. If you actually click on the up arrow next to the camera button in Skype, it's slightly bigger.
Okay. Except
oh, actually, if you click on that and click change background, then you can see a fairly big version of it.
Okay. It's okay. Yeah, you can see a lot of stuff behind me. Cool.
Anyway, yeah, Henry, yes, we did start, and we explained at the beginning that this episode only exists because we filmed an entire 60-minute episode talking about the same subject, and then the footage got, well, no, then my audio didn't record the entire time, even though the mic worked for Matthew to hear me. It did not work for OBS to hear me. Don't know what happened, but...
Very strange.
We're redoing it live. You want to get into the main subject of the episode, Matthew?
Sure.
Here, let me pull up a list of Ninjago Crystallized episodes. So, episode 1, I know, obviously, episode 1 starts. Episode 1 starts by showing the ninja after Nia's disappearance and, like, how they're coping with everything a year later, and I absolutely adored that episode.
Yeah.
Like, just the emotion shown, how somber it was, the new ninja were very funny characters,
It's gonna be kind of difficult to have this conversation again.
Yeah, no, I know, it's... I don't know, here, chat, what did you think of episode 1 of Crystallized? What did you think about how...
That's probably a more engaging way to do this.
Yeah.
Let's see what they think, and we'll respond to their thoughts.
Okay, yeah, so chat, tell us, what did you think of episode 1 of Crystallized? Crystallized list of episodes. Hold on, what was the title of episode? They deleted
Crystallized episodes. Yes, they did.
What?
They deleted the Crystallized episodes.
Yeah, they did delete the Crystallized episodes. Oh! Charlie X64 just became a Pyro Tier member. Thank you very much, Charlie X64. Appreciate it.
He is for tier and above.
He's Pyro Tier and above, so shout out to Charlie X64, and you will get a shout out at least for the next 4 weeks of podcast, and as long after that you remain a member. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You a real Charlie X64. Yeah. Here, yeah. Naden Doctor Studios says episode 1 was probably the best season premiere of Ninjago, and I completely agree. I can. I don't remember it. Wait, they're saying your mic is muted for real this time. Dude, what is with this? Yeah. Is there some like issue with OBS or something?
I think it's an issue with my mic.
Okay.
What is happening? Okay, there we go. There, now they can hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, chat. I'm sorry this is happening. I genuinely don't know what's up with my microphone. I might have to replace it. I've had it for like 5-6 years at this point.
Oh no.
It's been fine for all the reviews I've been doing, but as soon as I get on with Matthew, it screams. Anyway, where was I?
Where are you?
Where were we? What were we... Guys, what was the last thing I said? Okay.
This isn't a laughing matter, Sean.
I know. Okay, let's go back. Henry's comment. Episode 1 was fantastic. I know it's also been a year in real time since Seabounce. Having it a year in canon since the finale too was great. Yeah. Something we talked about in the Lost episode was, I think this is the only time we've had a canon time skip. People who are more knowledgeable about Ninjago than me, let me know, but the only other time I can remember them doing that is Day of the Departed ends on the following year's Day of the Departed, right? Like, they have a time skip there, but then also, Hands of Time ends after begins after the first Day of the Departed, so it doesn't really make sense. At least that's how to be honest, I've watched that special, like, once, but
yeah.
If I remember correctly, that's how it ends, so I think that's the only other, like, in-universe time skip. And I guess Hunted is a few months after, and honestly, it might even just be a few days after SOG.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember too
Last
well.
thing says you asked about what we thought of the episode. Oh, great. Okay. Okay. I saw my audio was not going up, and I got. Oh my god! Now my video is frozen again.
What is with this?
I don't know, man.
You might need to get fired as the host, and I'll take over.
Hold on. And I'm not even building. I'm only looking at the camera, and I'm still having issues.
Yeah, I'm building.
Hunted is a week later. Hunted is a week or two after SOG. March only happens a month out of Secrets of Forbidden Spijitzu. Wait, what? March only happens I assume you mean a month before, yeah. Lloydsen's been a week, okay. There's a big time skip between Hands of Time and SOG, wasn't there? Yes, you're right. But that one made a little more sense. Like, that one, the ninja looked completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, Sons of Garmadon's the same time skip. So that was very cool to see. What else? Any other notes about this episode that this episode I really enjoyed? It was really cool seeing how all the ninja process things differently. Zane turning off his like emotion meter like really hit me. Like that was really good.
I think that's the best aspect of this whole season so far, though, is it really kind of like shows the ninja as human and not just like one-dimensional characters.
Yeah. The way Kai is just so angry at everything, and the way Jay is just so depressed. Jay was definitely the best part of the episode.
Wait, someone has a question for Matthew. Scotty, what is your question for Matthew? What is it? Ask your question, Scotty. I know it takes a second for this to catch up. So.
Yeah, I know. It more takes like 20 seconds for this to catch up, but...
Yeah. Jay ripped off his swag beard. Yeah,
okay, here's a very important question, which we'll actually poll the chat on. Was the beard real or fake?
I think it was real.
Because I interpret it as real, but they instead of like showing him shave because he's a Lego minifigure, they had him get rid of it in a humorous way. But I was talking about this with Henry, and Henry was like, "No, it was a fake beard. He just glued it on."
No, I think it was a real.
What?
I think it was a real beard.
I agree. So, I'm gonna poll the chat on this because I'm curious what people think. Because Henry was team.
Oh, you guys can spoil as much Ninjago as you want for me. I don't care. I know about it anyway.
What was Jay's beard, real or fake? Real, fake. Alright, we're asking the chat. Let's see what they think. It was an illusion. Interesting. Maybe this isn't actually Jay and he's an Oni and he shapeshifted to get rid of his beard. Have you thought of that, Matthew?
I hadn't thought of that, Sean.
Yeah, I think it's just cartoon logic. I agree. That's my opinion on it.
That's how I feel about it as well.
Henry, real seems to be taking the lead. People seem to think Jay's beard is real, which I agree with.
Why is Henry getting so heated about this?
The beard was fake, but was made with his real hair, so 50-50. Interesting. Haven't heard that take before.
That's a weird one.
Alright. Shall we move on to episode... In summary, though, episode 1, fantastic. One of the best episodes in Ninjago ever. One of the best intros. I do want to talk about Lloyd. I feel like his, Lloyd's reaction to everything was definitely the weakest of the 4, or the 5, I guess.
Yeah.
Because everyone else seemed a character, but especially considering how Lloyd reacted in Rebooted, him becoming a window cleaner of all things just doesn't really feel like the characterization I've always had for Lloyd in my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I guess Cole kind of took up the role he had in Rebooted here, but I mean in Tournament here. But yeah, I definitely think I don't think Lloyd would be that, like I think Lloyd would feel bad and like blame himself for Nia, but I also don't think he would take that as an excuse to leave.
Mm-hmm. Something else that I hadn't really thought about is this season compared to Tournament, how come I know like the show has evolved since then, but it feels like the ninja are a lot more like torn up over the death of Nia or the disappearance of Nia than the death of Zane.
I don't know. I think you're not really remembering Tournament that much.
Okay, I might not be.
They are really like.
Okay.
There is a big divide because of that, and also the. I mean, I think Nia probably hit harder because she is one character's girlfriend and one character's sister.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
Because remember, the other 3 definitely like were struggling with it, but not nearly as bad as Kai and Jay were. With Zane, like they obviously had that brotherly bond, but they weren't like they'd not lived their entire lives together at that point. So
yeah, they'd only lived most of their lives together.
Yeah.
I mean, are they supposed to be like children in season 1? Not children, but like they're not old.
They're supposed to be like teenagers, like 15 to 18 age.
Okay. Well,
So,
are you telling older than the Ninjago Ninja?
Yeah, we are. Oh, I think now we're about the same. I don't know. I've always seen them as growing up with us. Like they were older than us when we were kids, but I think they've got to be in their 20s now. Like, there's no way they're not.
Yeah, no, they're definitely in their 20s now.
Yeah. The ninja's age are supposed to be ambiguous, and Tommy and Dresden stopped answering questions about it on Twitter. But in my eyes, Lloyd turned 18 in SOG. Like I think Lloyd and Harumi are biologically the same age. Lloyd was just aged rapidly, but SOG was Lloyd's mental age catching up with his body's age.
Mm-hmm.
And in my eyes, he is 18 in SOG, meaning the other ninja are like 25 in SOG.
Yeah.
And obviously time has passed since then, so. In Season 1, they're teens, but in Season 9, Zane states they're still teenagers. Yeah, I just disregard that line, because that's a weird line, and I don't like it.
Wait, what was it?
In Hunted, what was thing? In Hunted, Zane has some line. He's like, but Kai, we're teenagers, and it was like really weird because it was when Wu was aging from baby to teenager, and they made some comment about him being a teen, and then they were like, oh no, but Kai, we're teenagers. It was like, no, you're not.
That's a little off-putting.
Yeah. I could see them being 19. I don't know, because like that would imply that like all of Ninjago happened over the course of like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And you could argue like, oh, it's like The Simpsons, they don't age, which is fine, except for the fact that some characters do age. Like Harumi is what breaks the whole age thing, is because we have seen her age throughout the course of the show. So why is she aging but nobody else is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's something to think about, but it's like not really a be-all and end-all thing.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's up to interpretation, and it's so that kids can see themselves in it.
Yeah, I think that they're a little like ambiguous for that reason.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's move on to episode 2. Episode 2 was The Call of Home. Chat, what did we think of The Call of Home? Personally, this episode made me cry And I was like, oh no, what's this season going to do to me if I'm crying in episode 2 already?
I don't remember this. Can you refresh me a little bit on the episodes? Because I watched a lot of them like at work, and I did not watch them like all at once.
Yeah, so episode 2, that was the Nia Backstory episode where we see Naiad, she reads all the lanterns of people being like, Nia, we miss you so much, thank you for inspiring us, thank you for saving me. And then we had the flashback scene that shows Seabound and Skybound, which I love that they included Will Film animation in there. I really like that they licensed that, because the Ice Emperor reveal in Series of Forbidden Jujutsu was kind of bad because they only showed footage from that season and it felt really out of place, because like, we've known this character for 8 years, why are we only seeing the past like 2 weeks in his like flashback?
Yeah.
When she read the messages, it was so heartbreaking. Yeah, it did, like, it hit, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I remember this episode bringing me like, I know you said like you cry, like I was close to tears when I was watching this one.
Yeah. This is one of 2 times Ninjago's made me cry, the first time being Nia's death. By the way, just to put this in the chat, YouTube members can use the sad crying Nia emoji if you want.
Is that using now?
What?
Is that the one they're using right now?
Yeah, well, that's one I just put in the chat, and yeah, that one was made when the Seabound finale aired, because that it made me cry. So I forget, one of the YouTube members suggested it, but Emma drew a crying Nia emoji, which.
Oh wait, Emma drew that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
No, she's drawn. Here, I'll put all the ones that she's drawn in the chat.
I don't think I realized that was like the case.
Yeah, we got the Kai Wink, the Sad Nia, the Peeled Bolobo, and the Pyro Whipper.
Huh. I thought those were honestly, I thought those were just like taken from the show or whatnot.
Yeah, no, those are
photography. That's really cool.
Here are the non-drawn emojis for everyone. We have Overbra, Wet Hempog, MindPog, Joker Mind, and Gru, Mega Gru. Anyway, let me read some of chat. Let's see what they said. I think episode 2 was a really interesting artistic take on Nia's whole deal. I also have something to say regarding the lighthouse. Well, Henry, feel free. It was really good, not as emotional as episode 1 in my opinion. I think that's fair. It was just, I think Nia's was a lot more back-to-back, like, it hit you hard really fast, while, like, Nia's was sad while episode 1 was more somber, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's more, episode 1's depressed. Like, yes. That is what depression looks like, especially with Jay.
Yeah.
Episode 2 is just sad because it's like, it feels hopeless still.
Yeah, and it's her going, like, her realizing that she either never sees her, well, at first thinking she's never gonna see her friends again, and then realizing the only way to see her friends again is to give up her power, the one thing, like, she never wanted to give up.
Even before she's realizing she might never see her friends again, it's her remembering she has friends in the first place. Mm-hmm. I think that part of what makes it so devastating is it's like, in what was last season number? In Seabound, I guess we'll just call it Seabound because it's so complicated because LEGO was calling this season 4.
Yeah.
But in Seabound, like, Nia not only gives up her elemental power, but like completely sacrifices her brain.
Yeah.
So like seeing her get her memories back, but like feeling like she'll never be able to get out of the sea is just like, that's like painful.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like she's eternal. Like she will live entire like eternal existence without her friends, and that's got to be like incredibly depressing. I almost wish they didn't bring her back so quickly because that would have been cool to see her wrestle with more of.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just.
I get that, but also I get that they were trying to get the season started, and it was they had this 6-episode arc planned to bring her back. So
yeah.
Here from Henry, the fact that Echo Zane wasn't in the lighthouse definitely had some significance. Jay either killed him or Echo was somewhere else now. I don't think Jay killed Echo Zane. That was a joke, but him not being there definitely. Okay, yeah. No, I agree. I suspect that Echo is gonna end up being Mr. F.
You think?
I think because he's in the lighthouse, so if he's not there, like, he's got to be somewhere. And we know Mr. E was originally supposed to be Mr. F, and then that was retconned. But they could very easily recanonize it with Mr. F.
What if we see Mr. F being like an inside agent? Because he still doesn't speak. Like, they're very clearly making it like a new character.
Yeah. Well, and then we also have that leaked episode title called, like, The Return of the Ice Emperor or whatever.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Yeah, that was a while ago that was leaked. I forget, I think some actor on the show accidentally posted a picture of the script and that title was on it.
Okay.
But I think that could very well be Mr. E, or more specifically Echo Zane becoming the Ice Emperor for the Crystal King.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if that happened.
That would be very cool, honestly.
Also, I really appreciate that Nia was the one who made the choice to return to her mortal form. It wasn't just the guys missing her and wanting to bring her back. I agree. No, it was cool how it was her own decision.
I think that was definitely intentional.
Yeah, for sure. It was Ultraviolet's voice actor? Okay.
What?
Ultraviolet's voice actor posted the Return to the Ice Emperor thing.
Okay.
What if Mr. F is Frackjaw?
Is that a skeleton?
Yeah. Do you not remember? That was an old stream meme, like Day Before Sunday stream meme, where I for my entire life I thought his name was Frankjaw. And I said it once, and Jir was like, "What? You know it's Frackjaw, right?" And I was like, "No, it's Frankjaw." And then we looked it up, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it's Frackjaw. I've been calling him Frankjaw my entire life."
That's really funny. I don't remember that.
All right. Let's see. Now, episode 3. Episode 3, that was when they actually... The Shape of Nia. Chat, thoughts on the Shape of Nia? Thoughts?
Funny
one...
to the movie.
What?
Funny little reference to that movie.
Yeah. Right, this is the one when they go out into the subway, they fight Misdemeanor, they run into the new ninja, and they're like, we hate these guys. And then... The final scene is where Kai and Jay fight, and I think that is one of the best scenes in Ninjago ever.
I would agree with you.
I thought it was Frankjaw too. Okay, I'm not the only one. Kai versus Jay was pretty cool. It was super... I just love how that fight begins. Just like, Kai is angry, he makes his mistake, and he immediately apologizes, and Jay does not care. He just kicks him.
Yes. But it's not just like a kick, it's like violent.
Yeah. No, it was really good, and then Kai just gets so angry at that, and they both just go at it.
Yeah, and I think it was clever to make them the two that fight, because they're the two that care the most.
Yes, and I love that we are seeing so much Kai this season too, because I know that was a concern that like it would only be Jay caring, because that's sort of how it was framed at the end of Seabound. Because we didn't see much of Kai, but no, like this, it's perfect. It's genuinely perfect.
Yeah, and I love seeing like how much emotion is in this, because I feel like it's a kid show, so they kind of sometimes in the past have shied away from really showing emotion.
Yeah, or they don't want to make things too, because like I know one of my big issues with Skybound is it's small, but when Nia quote unquote dies in Skybound, only Jay is really upset. Like Kai puts his hands on his face like the other four do, but like. This shows how he would actually react if he lost his sister.
Yeah, agreed.
It's
very well done, I think.
I thought Nia falling out of her stable form was tense and kind of horrifying. I agree. That was really cool when she was like, she came out of the sprinklers, but then she was like sort of falling apart, and she's like, you need to take my powers. I don't have long.
Yeah.
That was really good. Just like it was like there was such a sense of urgency there, and then Zane just coming in is like, so I had to. Like, this is what had to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If the fight didn't happen, Kai wouldn't have set off the fire sprinklers, which means Nia wouldn't have been able to reach them. Yeah, no, I know. It's really good.
Do we have anything else for episode 2 or 3? Well, okay, what happens in episode 3 again?
Episode 3, that was also when they went down into the subway and ran into the new ninja.
Okay.
New ninja, by the way, we haven't talked about much, but I like them a lot. They're very funny characters. I like that they're hired by the new mayor.
Yeah.
New mayor, very funny political commentary, I guess.
It's political commentary, but it's like not that intense.
It's not that intense, but I like the idea of just like, I don't know. I think he's a very fun character, and I also like he has a reason for being there. Like that's one thing, because that's another thing Ninjago had issues with in the early seasons is like suddenly in SOG there's suddenly a royal family we've never heard about.
Yeah.
In March of the Oni, they set up, like, yeah, there's a mayor, but she doesn't really do anything. Like, they say that all the way back in March of the Oni, and then now we're finally like, yeah, well, that mayor's gone, now we have this new mayor who actually is doing something.
Yeah, except he's not really a good guy.
Alright, Henry, what do you have to say about the new ninja? I feel like you have a lot to say about the new ninja.
I love the new ninja.
People always talk about Kai having anger issues, but Jay has it bad too. He just buries it until it explodes out due to depression and trauma. Jay grew from that, but it's obviously come back. Yeah, no. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very good to see. I enjoyed Emotional Zane a lot this season. It kind of reminded me of how he was in Season 1, but to its natural extreme. Yeah, no, I agree. Emotional, like, Zane was great. All the way through, all the way up to the Benefit of Grief, which I love that episode. We will get to that, but... Good ninja.
Well, I mean, I feel like he'll probably be great past that, but that's so close to the end of the season.
I love how the new ninja signed for the Vengestone shipment, too. I hope that has significance later. I have a feeling it will. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but then the episode where Pythor breaks out of jail, he hops into this helicopter and it kind of looks like a police helicopter. Am I making that up, or is that true?
No, I think it did look like a police helicopter.
I have a feeling the mayor is connected to the Crystal Kings.
What if he is the Crystal King?
So that's the theory, because like obviously the Crystal King is the Overlord.
Okay, wait. What if since Overlord is Oni, right?
We don't know that, but that's at least my current theory.
What if he's shapeshifting into the mayor?
That could be, very much could be.
I hadn't even thought of that until just now.
Yeah, no, it very much could be because
isn't his last name like Bad Guy or like something stupid?
Yeah, but to be fair, all characters have that. In Ninjago.
I know, like, still.
Now, let me look at that. What is the... I didn't keep track of the... Mayor Trustable.
Okay, yeah.
That's really funny. I want to know, like, how the Ninjago writers come up with their name. Like, that and Misdemeanor.
How about Fugitive, bro?
Dude, Misdemeanor is... I will die on this hill that Misdemeanor is the best character name in any piece of media ever.
I don't completely disagree with you.
I just like because like I love that because it's like a misdemeanor is like it's not like a big crime. It's just a misdemeanor, you know?
Yeah.
that's a criminal name. Misdemeanor. It's so good, so good. The new ninja being parallels to the ninja is hilarious. Ninja Never Stop Trying was my favorite part. Also, side note, the scene after the subway fight, they forgot to animate the eyebrows properly. I did not notice that, but I wouldn't be shocked. Did anybody notice there was... I think it was Benefit of Grief. There was like a circle in the... like a weird lighting circle in the corner of the screen the entire episode.
I didn't notice that.
And it wasn't like a thing they put... It was just like there was a certain lighting setting they had... And it was applied to that area of the screen the entire episode. So areas, like parts of the episode where it was in bright sunlight, you didn't notice it at all because that was the lighting of the entire shot. But in darker scenes, that area would just be really bright. It was very strange.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Little mock break. Check this out.
That's so sick, dude.
I got like a little wall thing going on over here. Not done, but also I made this as like a window. I don't have anything to put it into.
Yeah.
But... look at that from above. Like, that's so dense.
Yeah, no, that's sick. Oh no, am I frozen again? Wait. Oh no, I'm not. Okay, I was just staring blankly at your mock on the camera. Okay. But this helicopter probably looked at a police helicopter so they didn't have to make a new model for something they won't use again. That's also fair. That very much could be true.
I didn't really even think of that, but that's more than likely what it was.
Asset reuse could be there, but it would not shock me if the new Ninja are somehow working for the...
I would 100% believe that.
Yeah. Honestly, the mayor isn't a bad guy. Nothing he's done so far isn't irrational at all. Everything he's done so far has been indeed against the ninja, but also in favor of the city. I do agree somewhat. I think hiring the new ninja in the first place is a little weird, and he does seem to not like the ninja. Like, even before they started, like, committing actual crimes, he seemed to not like them.
Yeah, because they are committing crimes.
Yeah, like, he was very angry at them for, like, he blaming them for the events of Seabound? When, like, that one actually was not there. Like, the Ninja have committed a bunch of, acts of terror on the city. That one was not their fault.
Yeah, yeah.
The mayor supports the new ninja because they have a lower risk of property damage. The mayor didn't let them release a sphere because she'd betray them. Surprise, surprise, she actually did. No, I agree with you there. We'll get into that. We'll go into episode 4. And episode 5, yeah. So, episode 4, a mayor problem. Thoughts, chat? Give me your thoughts, okay? Now I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, so the mayor refuses to release Asphira, so the ninja take matters into their own hands. With the help of Skylar, who temporarily keeps Nia from melting, the ninja break into Cryptarian prison to free Asphira. One thing I do find a little bit weird about this is the way they're immediately like, Asphira is the only way to take these powers, because they are doing so many if this was in a normal season, I literally would not think twice, but in a season where there's so many callbacks to Masters of Spinjitzu in previous seasons, and like straight up with Skylar appearing the scene before, Skylar's own father knew how to take elemental powers, and Ray and Maya have created blades to take elemental powers before, so why releasing a sorceress from prison was their first idea, no clue, but it gets her back in show, so whatever.
Yeah, I kind of think it was just a vessel to bring Asphira back.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my opinion. Like,
yeah, no, I don't know, with how well they explained everything else this season so far, that one did feel a little bit wacky to me.
It is what it is, in my opinion.
Was it this in the next episode that had Skylar? Skylar was first introduced in this episode because while they were breaking Asphira out of jail, she was holding Nia. Nice. I love Asphira so much, bro. She's so good this season. Hopefully people learn to not take Asphira seriously. I agree. She's one of my favorite villains, straight up. Like, I want deep emotional villain. Of course, I'm not going to go to Asphira, but, like, just for someone who makes me laugh and who I enjoy watching on screen, Asphira every day of the week, like. And I think she's going to balance out with the other villains on the council pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. And I've only seen her in, this. I'd never watched her actual season, but, like, she's very funny so far.
Yeah, no, she's great. Chrono Steel is very rare and hard to forge. They didn't have time to do any of that. I mean, I guess.
What'd you say?
I'm reading a thing from Henry. Chrono Steel, that's what they used for the Time Blades. They didn't have time. It was very rare and hard to forge. They didn't have time to do any of that. My thing is, though, like, me personally, if I was in the ninja's position, if it was like, Zane has to hold Nia for a couple days. Also, remember, Zane doesn't need to sleep or anything because he is a robot, right? Zane might have to hold Nia for a little while even, but you know, it means we don't have to release like an actual criminal from prison. I think I might. I don't know. I might be more in favor of that idea.
What did you just say?
And at the time, they said they need the elemental powers of fire and water to forge the time blades. Then it took days. So that's probably why. Okay, so that one makes a little more sense. So they don't have the massive water to help forge them. What did Chen use though? I guess Chen needs a spell book. Just okay. And Klaus isn't around. Klaus and his spell book aren't around it. Okay, you know what? It's fine. Okay. Plot hole has been filled. Thank you, chat.
Okay. That's good.
Thank you, chat. And I assume the reason they needed Asphira and not just her staff is because she's a sorceress and they don't know how to cast the spells from her staff while she does.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, the free Asphira, that episode's fun. I like seeing Asphira again. Yeah. And then next we get to Public Enemies number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the one where my thought when watching this were the ninja were kind of wrong for this one.
Yeah, I mean,
they robbed the truck to get the staff back. Another thing, I apologize if this is redundant for you, Matthew, because I know we talked 2 days ago about this, but for chat, a few times this season, I feel like Tommy Andreasen is writing lines so that he doesn't have to answer questions on Twitter in like a couple months. Because there's a part of this episode where they're like, oh, we need Asphira's staff, but we can't just call up Cyrus Borg and ask for it. And then Pixel calls up Cyrus Borg and asks for it because, you know, he's their friend. And I know that if that was not in the show, immediately after that episode aired, someone would go to Tommy Andreasen on Twitter and be like, Tommy, why didn't they just call up Cyrus Borg? Cyrus Borg's their friend. So I am glad that they did that. But it is...
And also, I think it's just kind of funny that they like do that.
Yeah, no, it is very funny in the context of the show, and they do that once more later in the season. But it's that one very much felt to me like, please don't ask me stupid questions on Twitter, which is fair. Yeah. People should not ask him stupid questions on Twitter.
Something I really enjoy this season is the humor is like, I don't know, I'm like actually finding the humor very funny.
Yeah, no, it's very well written because it's not like slapstick stupid. It's like, it's, I don't know, it doesn't have to be in your face every 3 seconds, so when it's there, it's good.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. It's just, it's well executed in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
But yeah, the ninja were kind of wrong for, like, robbing that truck and, like, dangling 2 innocent truck drivers in the air off of Zane's plane.
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
I don't know.
What was up with that? That was a little wacky. But we got Better Call Dareth in that episode.
Okay, was that, like, on a billboard or something, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's... See, I thought it was just, like, oh, haha, he's a lawyer. I didn't think it was actually a Better Call Saul reference, but Henry proved me wrong. The colors and everything used are, like, an exact copy of, like, one of the posters in Better Call Saul.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I feel like Saul is probably a better lawyer than Dareth, though.
I mean, more talented, yes. More ethical? Not sure about that one.
I have not watched Better Call Saul. So.
Yeah, and you've not watched Breaking Bad either.
Yeah. I will say, though, Dareth's pretty funny in this.
Yeah. The ninja even destroyed Dareth's billboard. Kind of messed up, if you ask me. I agree. Oh, yo, theory! Mr. F is Flintlock. That's where the F comes from. And he's got a gun that he shoots things out of.
I don't know.
I know, I don't think so, but interesting. Very interesting.
I feel like that one's going to be a doubt for me.
I love how every time Zane isn't there to freeze Nia, they give an explanation for why he isn't there. Yeah, that too. Also, I like how for 2 episodes straight, all Skylar does is just go, I can't hold it! I'm trying, I can't hold it! And then Zane comes in at the very end.
Me when I have to go to the bathroom?
What?
Me when I have to go to the bathroom?
Oh yeah, true. Very relatable. In the LEGO sets, General Vangelis has black wings when the show is Shintaran wings. Do you have any speculation about this? I assume, because the generals have not been crystallized yet, and we see in the one trailer, like, we see Asphira getting crystallized. I assume when he gets crystallized, he will have his black Skull Sorcerer wings again.
I've not seen all the trailers. What do you mean when you say getting crystallized?
Because she's still blue right now. She's in her normal blue snake form. In the trailer, there's a shot where there's a crystal rising out of the center and, like, lightning coming out from it, and it, like, shocks all the generals, and they, like, rise up in the air, and she gets, like, where she had her fire in her original design, that just becomes pink crystals, and she goes from blue to, a gunmetal gray color.
Okay.
So I assume when that happens to Vangelis, he will go back into more Sculpt Sorcerer type robes.
Why was he a villain again?
Who?
Why was Vangelis, like, a villain?
He was the one who originally was selling Vengestone to the Vengestone buyer.
Okay.
Because Shintaro is where the Vengestone mines are, and he was enslaving the Geckles and the Months to do his labor for him.
Okay.
He also had this evil talking skull that was like, hey, you kill people. And he was like, okay.
Kill John Lennon?
Yeah.
TikTok reference. Okay. Ninjago is not something that, like, stays in my mind for that long.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not your entire identity like it is mine.
Yeah. No offense.
Yeah.
I have adult things to worry about, like paying taxes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I'm just kidding. I don't pay taxes. For the United States government, that's a joke.
Yeah, the United States government is definitely watching the Ninjago Crystallized Talk episode of the Work Crew podcast.
Sean, you can never be too safe.
Alright, anyway, yeah, then we get to episode 6, A Painful Promise. This is the episode where Asphira and Wu lift weights and flip pancakes.
Yeah, that was hilarious, honestly.
Yeah, that sequence definitely felt a little out of place with the tone of everything else, but I think that's okay. We can have some lighthearted fun when everything else is like, my sister is dead and I'm sad. Like, we can have a little bit
Yeah.
of flipping pancakes with Asphera, you know?
They should make an entire TV show out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wooing Asphera flipping pancakes?
I'm just doing some funny challenges. Imagine like a animated game show of like Woo versus Asphera. Also, I love how like Woo's like usually this like super serious stoic guy, and then sometimes he's flipping pancakes with Asphera.
Yeah, and then they bring the staff back to Asphera, and of course she immediately betrays them, because why wouldn't she?
Revenge, 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 revenge.
So then the cops show up, and she's like, "Hey, you called the friggin' cops? I'm walking
like,
here. I'm friggin' Asphera.
Hey, I'm walking here.
You called the friggin' feds." Yeah, but anyway, yeah, so they call the cops get called, and then Asphera's like, "I gotta go. You gotta let me out of here." And they're like, "Well, maybe if you keep your word, we'll let you out of here." And she's like, "Fine." And then she starts doing the funny staff move on Nia. She goes and starts slurping her elemental power out.
Do you think Asphera actually drinks it? Like she's just like.
That's what she does in Secrets of Forbidden Jitsu.
What?
She eats Kai's fire power, and that's how she gets her fire powers.
Huh. How do all the other fire powers? Like, where's Char? Where's Char at?
That's a good question. I don't know. Oh, he's dead. Wait, if she doesn't have her element anymore, Char's dead.
Huh.
Because Char was a mummy that was resurrected by Asphera's fire powers, and now that the fire's back with Kai.
Interesting.
Char's definitely dead. Oh no.
Rest in peace. So the only Whipper now is regular Whipper.
Well, no, all the Pyro Whippers were mummies too, so they're all dead.
Oh my god.
No.
So you're telling Pyro Whipper's dead?
I guess the only canon Whippers in the show right now are the Hydro Whippers.
Huh. Sad.
What'd you think of Origami Fire Fang? I loved it. I think it's so funny that she was doing origami.
Is that what it was?
What?
Is that supposed to be Fire Fang?
I mean, it was like little cobras, yeah.
Huh, I didn't realize that. That's funny.
Char didn't die, he ran away. But think about it, Henry. If the only reason he was alive was Asphera's fire, he's got to be dead now if she no longer has her fire, right? Kai still redeemed his heart, keeping Char alive.
I finished my mock, Sean.
Yeah, let me see.
There it is.
That's really cool, actually.
Got some like castle ruins there. I really just did this to mess around with these pieces and see what I could do with that, but I'm very happy with how this turned out.
That looks kind of sick, not gonna lie.
What do you think, chat? We rocking with it? Dude, having like this much grass looks so cool.
Yeah. No, that does look sick.
It does, I will say, it comes up way higher on minifigures than I thought it did.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty intense. But, ooh, this looks... Dude, imagine just, like, a giant, like, fold-out table-sized mock with, like, this covering it.
That would be insane.
Oh, this looks so cool. Because, like, this didn't even... Like, this is size... Like, this isn't, like, huge, but, like, it's not tiny. All right, this is awesome. All right. Sorry.
You're good. No, that was very cool.
Oh, that's my pattern that I was doing on there. I think I want to build some kind of courtyard that uses this.
Pretty sick.
All right. We can continue the Ninjago discussion.
Let's continue with Ninjago discussion. I feel like they all re-mummified when she lost her powers. I agree. Let's see. That could be another poll. All right. Are Char and the Whippers still alive? Yes. No, they're mummies again. See what the chat thinks. Also, an official in-canon confirmation that Wu is 1,000 years old. I thought they said thousands, not 1,000. Wasn't Asphera like 3,000 years ago or something? Oh, his
Yeah,
first
I
got
think
a new voice actor? Really? Sounds just like the old one. Crazy. Okay. So chat seems to think they're mummies again, which I agree with. Fortunately. Sad. In my heart, they are. Yeah, me too. Listen, well, Pyro Whipper the man, like the man himself over here, this guy, he is still alive. Okay, he's out there. The Pyro Whippers as an army, nah, but this guy's still out there. I thought to do a video where he crystallized the other villains. I did that in a live stream the other day. Go check the end of my most recent live stream besides this one. You can check that out. Everything okay, Matthew?
Yeah, my phone's acting up.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Good. Alright, episode 7. So, wait, let's talk about the end of this episode. So, yeah, Nia comes back. They successfully slurp all the water power out of Nia. I've also seen a few people say, like, oh, does that mean Asphira has water powers now? I think she could, if she wanted to, but then that would make her, merge with the sea, just like Nia did, so I don't think she wants that. So I assume she did not choose to keep the powers like she did with Kai. But yeah, this episode ends on Nia, coming back, and I love the ending of this episode, how the ninja are being arrested, but they just can't stop smiling because they're proud of what they did, and it's just...
We talked about it last, like, when we first filmed this, but that line where they're... So I don't know who says it, but they're like, was it worth it? And they were like, yes.
Yeah, no, it was when Lloyd was being arrested. He goes, yeah. He says, I hope it was worth it, and then Lloyd looks over to Nia, and he just smiles and says, it was. And then when they're on the helicopter, and they're just like, we did it. That was so good.
So good.
Currently there are mummies, but it will soon be geode whippers when she gets her crystal powers, and that means we have a crystallized Char, and there's Crystal Fang. That would be very cool. Dude, I would love just... as much as I like the Vengestone baddies, it would have been cool if they were snakes.
I agree. I think they should have been whippers.
They should have been whippers. That scene where the new ninja leader broke his sword was so funny. Big ups to the voice actor on that one. That was pretty good.
Wait, I don't remember that.
One of the new ninja broke their sword when fighting and had to ask for a new one from one of the other ones.
I completely don't remember that.
Jay holds Nia the same way he holds her when she dies in Skybound. Don't tell me this. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Crystal Fang would go so hard, yeah, it would. I would love that set. Maybe that could be a video, making Crystal Fang.
You should definitely do that.
Yeah. Okay, so then we get into episode 7, Ninjago City versus Ninja. They go to prison, which honestly they did kind of deserve. I'm not gonna, yeah, I know from their point of view it was the right thing, they were bringing Nia back, but they did kind of, like, let a villain... Also, why did Lloyd let her go? I get he's, like, keeping his word, but she did already break her word to you, and, like...
Yeah.
She is a criminal who is now turning against you guys. You really should have just put her back in jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lloyd just lets her go. So cool. Oh, and she gets recruited by the Crystal King at the end of the episode. But, yeah, episode 7, Ninjago City versus Ninja. Yeah, they get sent to prison. They run into Ronin. They run into...
You run into the what, like the needles?
What?
The needles.
Oh, right. I forgot about the needles. Right, and the main part of this episode is you see the Kabuki mask person for the first time, and they're like, hey, Lloyd, I'm gonna burn everything you love and kill everyone you love, and you're gonna be stranded on an island with no one you love, and they're all dead, and I hate you.
I will say, can we mention the, like, big reveal at the end of episode 12?
We can talk about it. So just, yeah.
Spoilers if you haven't watched them yet, but, that does sound like something Harumi would say.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that more when we get to episode 12, but I have a hard time believing it's actually Harumi. But yeah, it would make sense for her if it was, like, season 8 Harumi, yes.
Yeah, I feel like she probably isn't alive, though. Like, I know we've discussed this, but, like, I agree, I don't really think it's actually her.
Yes. Or, well, the other thing I could see them pull is if it was somehow similar to Garmadon in SOG, where it was like her resurrected, but only the evil parts of her.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they did do that. Like Garmadon did have a whole redemption that they kind of threw out the window already.
Yeah.
But they did like have a lore explanation. So that's the only way I could say that's Harumi. But yeah, that scene was very good. But overall, I think this was one of the less eventful episodes.
It's kind of just like a little. I don't want to say filler because that implies to me that it wasn't like good, but like it was kind of fillery. Like it just.
It wasn't.
Gets you...
Nah, don't say the word filler around Ninjago fans because they kind of freak out. But
okay.
It was not the most event. It was kind of more of a bridge episode, we'll say.
Yeah, that's the better word for it. That's what I couldn't think of.
Because filler implies that the season would be the same without it, which it wouldn't.
Okay.
It was more of a bridge between episodes. And then you see the Skull Sorcerer get invited at the end. I think he's the lamest member of the council.
Agreed. He's like the least important.
He's got a cool design, but like as an actual character, Vangelis is kind of lame.
I want to be honest, that's probably why they put him in.
Yeah, well, also, I guess he is the first time we heard of the Vengestone buyer was him, so it would make sense for him to be invited.
That's true. He was important to the history of the Vengestone. Why? So, did he start mining Vengestone to sell to the Vengestone buyer, or was like that already like a good that was mined in Ninjago?
I think they had mined it. Like Shintaro was the Vengestone exporter. For like since.
Was it used for anything else?
No, it's only used for this, which is why it's not, like, super useful. But the thing is, like, it was mined very rarely, and then the Vengestone buyer came around and was like, I want 1 million of this. And they were like, okay.
Yeah, I'll take your entire stock.
I think Harumi is actually Avatar Harumi from Prime Empire. That could be interesting.
What if it's like Unagami?
Well, no, but remember, at the end of Prime Empire, all the NPCs are real people now.
Oh, shoot. I forgot about that.
And Avatar Harumi did have a simulation of real Harumi's memories. I hadn't thought about that. That could be interesting.
That could be it.
I don't know how I'd feel about that, but that would make sense.
Yeah.
It actually kind of does make sense, maybe.
We'll see. I'm very curious to see where that goes.
I like to think Harumi is just Garmadon messing with Lloyd and doesn't actually think the Crystal King is a real person and just made it up to prank Lloyd.
What? Where's this?
That was Henry. I noticed that more recently during the fights, injuries do actually happen. Kai gets knocked out, / the wind knocked out of him, and very often when we check the backgrounds, they're still knocked out. It shows the weight of what they do. I've also noticed that, and I think that's very cool.
I had not noticed that, but that is very cool.
It's very much a Wild Brain era thing, because I mean, even with that scene from Sequence from Spinjitzu, which a lot of people point to as the best fight scene in Ninjago, which I agree. That happens in that scene a lot.
I have not seen that, so
I don't think it's Avatar Harumi because her whole thing was she didn't have Harumi's memories. That's true, but aside from the spider song, has she done anything that was like and needed to be heard to know? Yeah, remember Lloyd asked what the first date was, and Avatar Harumi didn't know. That's true. Very interesting. Because I don't think it's actual her. I still don't think it's actual.
Is Lloyd like still in love with Harumi?
I think Lloyd's having mixed feelings. I think Lloyd was hoping he could help her and bring her back, and he has trauma. He's got Stockholm syndrome.
All right, what's the next episode?
Next episode is the Pythor prison episode. This is it's Cryptarian Prison Blues. We see Pythor again in this episode. We see him. We see Pythor in this episode. We see him like, I'm gonna join the Crystal King. You guys can't stop me. Skylar visits the ninja and she's like, hey, Vangelis escaped. And they're like, that's weird. I wonder what's going on with that. Oh, and this is also the episode where Nia's like, I don't know what to do with my life now that I don't have powers and like my boyfriend's in jail. And Wu convinces her, like, reminds her of her time as Samurai X, and then she's like, maybe that's a good idea.
And then she's like, Samurai X.
Oh,
Samurai X.
How do you feel about that running joke method that Pixel's like, this will take 400 million hours to build. Give me 5.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
I don't know. It's strange. It's funny, but it's strange.
Because they keep doing it.
Yeah.
Are they just like trying to show how quickly Pixel can do things?
Yeah.
Because if you really think into that, her calculations aren't that accurate because she should be calculating the speed at which she should be able to do something.
I don't know.
So I think her brain calculator just doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lloyd was crying in the teaser. Must be a big reveal about the fate of Furumi, and Herb is the only character to make Lloyd cry. Okay, but I could also see Lloyd crying if, like, they stab Wu on live TV. Like,
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know.
I could see Wu potentially dying.
I could
though.
too. And
I feel like
Garmadon too, honestly.
Something, like, intense has to happen this season.
Yeah. I think Pixel building stuff super fast is setting up a reveal for the Pixel bots we saw in the trailer. Probably, actually.
What are those?
In the trailer, you see a little, like, Woo-bot looking thing with Pixel's face instead of the Woo face. Anyway, back to Kryptonian Prison Blues. The end of this episode was pretty good with them chasing Pythor out of jail, and then they're like, we're not trying to escape, we're just trying to, you know, catch the other runaway guy. And then Kai sets fire to an entire They, like, break down the prison, and they're like, oh, why aren't they letting us out? I don't know, Ninjago. Why aren't they letting you out?
Maybe because you're smelly idiots.
Episode 9, Hound Dog McBrag. This is the episode where Nia comes in and saves everybody from the bus. And Dareth puts him in a getaway car. This episode was fun. I don't think anything too crazy happened here.
Fugitive comes back.
Oh, Fugitive in this episode was great.
I completely agree.
Fugitive was great. I love Fugitive's dynamic J. I saw some people annoyed by it on Twitter. Shut up. No. He's great.
Agreed.
Here, let's do another poll. Do you like Fugitive?
The answer is yes, I love Fugitive.
It'll say more specifically in this season. Yes. He's funny. No, I can't stand him. SU community. The monastery got destroyed in the trailer. Could be an opportunity to see the Ninja Dojo temple in the show. Possibly, but I don't see them, like, developing a new, like, base like that this season. Maybe next season, but...
Yeah, I don't think core stuff will ever really be in the show.
Well, we got Jay's core car. No, sorry, Lloyd's core car.
Oh, no, you're right. Never mind. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I thought.
I could see them making it a base if that set sticks around for a few years.
Yeah, I could see that. Because it is a good set.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the Wanted arc, but Fugitive was so good. Yeah, Fugitive was great. And I like how he breaks out with the ninja and he's just following them around.
Mm-hmm. And, like, annoying Jay the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, he just, like, will not listen to what Jay is saying about not being a villain.
I think the monastery getting the show is because of Asphira coming back to steal the golden weapons. That's probably, yeah. We also see her in the monastery with an army of crystal spiders, so...
Yeah.
Right, and then the golden weapons are there when they crystallize all the villains, and she was not crystallized in the trailer scene. So...
Okay, yeah.
91% of the audience agrees Fugitive is funny. Honestly, for some reason, I can't get into overtly annoying characters, even if it's just meant for jokes. I liked it when he sacrificed himself to save the ninja. See, I don't normally like overtly annoying characters, but Fugitive does it in a charming way. He's not like a minion. Like, he's not talking in a high-pitched voice and repeating the same thing over and over. He's supposed to be annoying, but he's charmingly annoying. Fugitive treats Jay like Joker treats Batman, but if Batman had never heard of the Joker. That's pretty good.
Kind of like the dynamic they have in the movie.
The LEGO Batman movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's pretty close actually, yeah. That's a good comparison. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's a good comparison, Meebleton. Can we talk about how much better Jay's been this season? He feels like his old character again. I agree. No, I think all the 4 original Ninja have been a lot better. Because I feel like Wild Brain era, I mean, like, Cole got better as a Master of the Mountain. But Zane, Kai, and Jay specifically, I felt like have been a little out of character recently, and they all feel like themselves again. They all feel like they have things to do. They're not just played for jokes. They're really good. And, like, Jay has had moments in Prime Empire and Seabound. Kai has had moments. And then Zane, I feel like, has been mostly played for humor the entire Wild Brain era, which I have not really been the biggest fan of. But Zane has been great this season. As a very big Zane fan, and it makes me very happy to see.
Agreed.
From Lego Ninja Wolf, why is Matthew always on his phone?
Why is Matthew always on his phone?
Why is Matthew always on his phone? Oh, Mickey Mouse 3893 says Matthew's looking at girls on Instagram.
Well. Wow. Actually, I'm trying to find that drawing of the castle that's coming out, because I can't find it anywhere.
Was it taken down?
Yes, it is not anywhere.
Well, then Lego probably sent out legal cease and desist. So we should probably stop talking about it.
I didn't screenshot it because Bricks still has their they still have this up, but they don't have the drawing up.
Yeah, well, because they can't, like, that I believe is protected. I think why Bricks exists is because they're protected under journalism laws. But yeah. I think the drawing might break something that if they took it down, they definitely got a cease and desist, because Lego Bricks never takes anything down.
Yeah, I can't find it anywhere, and Lego Leaks is like flooded with Star Wars stuff. So, do I have any games on my phone? Yeah, I do. But I can't find it anywhere, and I wanted to see what the rooms were again.
Whoops.
So, alas.
I mean, that's it for drawing. I haven't seen any drawing, and we're not showing anything on the screen. I have no clue what Matthew's talking about.
If anybody has that drawing screenshotted, can you send it to me? If there is,
I'm sorry, my sound's not. I can't hear what you're saying, Matthew.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Just DM me, please.
Okay, where were we? What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Next episode, Hotdog McBrag. Oh no, I get these episodes. No, this is the episode where Nia saves everybody. And this is when when the mayor calls up, he's like, "Hello, Hound Dog McBrag, can you track them down?" And he's like, "I got you, bro. I got you."
I'm Hound Dog McBrag in my big truck.
I like that Jay's voice is noticeably lower when he's depressed or calculating his words, but when he's blabbing, it's raspier / higher. I agree. That's quite good.
Yeah, it's a cool voice acting choice.
Yeah, no, they've been doing really. The voice acting has been like peak this.
Agreed.
And I think why do I keep forgetting his name? The new Cole voice actors doing really good. Like,
yes, I agree.
He's doing a great job, both displaying emotion and everything, but also representing Cole well. Like, it's definitely a little different. Like, it's not perfectly Kirby Morrow, but I would rather him, like, because if he was trying to imitate Kirby perfectly, he would not be able to get the emotion that he does.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Hound Dog McBrag versus the Commissioner. Who wins? Commissioner. 100% of the time.
He's been doing it for longer.
Yeah. Also, that's my boy. I love the Commissioner.
Yeah. Commissioner's got a cool mustache, too. Yeah. Hound Dog McBrag is definitely a LEGO City character.
I literally don't remember this episode. Like, yeah, this is just like, this is when they break out. So what was the previous episode? Oh, okay, no, never mind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, we've been talking about the same episode the entire time. Okay, next episode, Benefit of Grief. This is one of my favorite episodes in Ninjago ever. I love this episode. So good. Sally's a wonderful character. I hope we see her again. I love just, like, how it showed a more, like, heartwarming and emotional side of Zane, Kai, and even Dareth.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a really sweet episode. I like how it wasn't any crazy. Like there was the chase scene with Hound Dog McBrag, but there was nothing too crazy happening. It was mostly about processing grief and how it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel emotions, and I thought that is a very strong, positive message. And it's nice to
Agreed.
see something like that in a kid's show, because a lot of times the message in kids' shows is like, don't be mean to people, don't steal. Like,
Yeah.
this
no
is
doubt.
this is a message you don't see that often.
And I feel like it's a fitting message for Ninjago, especially this season, because of how much they deal with, like, trauma.
Yeah. Oh, Andrew Francis, that's the name of the new Cole voice actor. Thank you. Thank you, everybody who said that in the chat.
How come the name of the voice actor isn't Matthew?
Good question.
They should hire me to be a voice actor for Ninjago.
People are saying, oh, is Sally from this episode Sally from Rebooted? No, because she was talking about how she'd never been to Ninjago City, right?
I don't even remember Sally from Rebooted.
She's the, like, little girl that Dara's like, don't worry, Sally, I'll save you.
Oh, yeah, I doubt it's related.
Oh. What? What is happening? Hold on, there's echo happening.
Yeah, I hear it.
Where's it coming? Where's it coming from? Chat, are you guys hearing an echo right now? Okay, but it's not coming through the... I think it's your computer. I don't know. Or do you have the stream open? Do you have sound on the stream? Weird. Okay. Okay. Chat, here, what, can you mute yourself? Where is this coming from? Know what? Okay, so Matthew's muted now. But I still hear it. Where is it coming? And it's coming on my computer, and I'm using a headphone. What? What is happening? I have no clue what's happening. I'm so confused. Well, let me just... What? Yeah, sorry guys that I'm, like, quiet now, but I'm trying to figure out what in the world is going on. I should probably continue talking so that I can hear if it's still happening. Bruh. Is it OBS? Does OBS have, like, an audio playback thing that's going on? I hate, like... Matthew shares a face, very true. You have an aggregate device? I don't know what that means, and I'm a CS major, but I don't know what you're referring to. I'm confused too. Everything was fine until you started complaining about the echo. This is it, the last episode of the Woo Crew podcast. Well, I think the stream is playing somewhere, but my only stream that's open has the chat. What if I close that? No, okay, that's... Close this. Photoshop is definitely not playing it, but I'll close that too. Rico saying? Bet Matthew just got invited to the Crystal Kings Council. Hi. Possibly I just closed the stream. Maybe that will help.
No, it's pretty wacky though. I don't know why that's happening.
I don't... No, okay, so it's OBS. OBS is doing... It's either OBS or Skype. Let's try hanging up on Skype real quick.
Okay.
No, it's OBS. Why? Why is OBS playing my own audio back to me?
Matthew's back. He's crystallized.
Ah! That's how I'm feeling right now. I'm so sorry, chat. This is not good stream content, but I need to figure this out. Chat, anyone familiar with OBS? Anyone familiar with OBS know why it's playing my own sound back to me? Oh my... It was my phone.
Oh.
Somehow I had the stream open on my phone. I literally have not even opened the stream on my phone. And I was playing it. Okay. Okay, I thought I checked my phone. Okay, fine, we're here. We're here.
Okay.
I feel a little dumb.
Nice one, Brix.
I feel a little dumb, Matthew.
Maybe that's warranted.
Alright, I'm excited to cut that out of the VOD later, but...
Okay.
Anyway, welcome back, chat. I'm back. Where were we on our crystallized discussion?
I don't know.
Benefit of Grief. Yeah, chat, what were your overall thoughts on Benefit of Grief? To be fair, chat, like, I had not even opened the stream on my phone. I don't know how it got open, because, like, I've been looking at the chat on my computer, so why would I have it open on my phone? I do not know how that happened. And I have YouTube Premium, so it's not like the video was playing. It was playing with my phone off in the background.
That's really...
Become a YouTube member.
I'm a YouTube member.
My only complaint with episode 10 is I wish Jay was on his mission, because Sally's situation is very similar to his passive living in the desert with Edna going off on his own. See, though, I think it was good that he wasn't, because it allowed us to see another side of Kai, Zane, and Dareth. Because we've seen that side of Jay before.
Yeah, I agree Jay would have worked well there, but also, yeah, it does kind of give an opportunity for some other characters to show personality.
Yeah.
Sally, best Ninjago character, no cap. Amen.
No, I agree. Also, Pride sticker is cool. Yeah, it was cool to see the Pride sticker there.
I didn't notice it. I saw pictures of it, but like I didn't notice it on the van.
No, it was, you could see it in the trailer. Right? I also saw it in the show. I'm like, cool. Very cool. Thank you, LEGO. The writers have been trying to include. I hope this means we're gonna get like a gay character at some point soon, because that would be very nice to see.
Agreed.
But Tommy Andreasen has tweeted about it. Someone asked him, and he's like he essentially said we want to, but there's like industry standards that kind of have to change before we're going to be able to include that in a children's show. Which...
Wait, what did you say?
Like, when you're making children's TV, especially international children's TV, there's rules and regulations, and stuff like that has been frowned upon for many, many years.
Yeah.
And because it's not just like Tommy Andreassen's like, this is going to be in the show, and then it's just in the show. It has to go through LEGO, it has to go through censors, it has to go through, like, being approved for international audiences. So no matter how bad he and the other writers may want to include something like that, it does have a lot to get through. But he said something like there's a lot of old industry standard that has to change, but looks like that is changing.
Okay.
So it sounds like it's most likely going to happen. It's just not yet. But I'm glad they are including allyship in the ways that they can at the moment.
Also, not LEGO. I know Disney's like really weird about that stuff, where they'll like make gay characters, but then like kind of cut them out internationally.
Right. But yeah, there's the Pride flag, and there was, I mean, in Seabound too, there was a rainbow crosswalk, which is a Pride thing. Yeah, that was in Crystallized as well, that same rainbow crosswalk. And then there was also, in the background of one shot, you could see two men on a little river date, and they're kissing. It's very cute.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's like in the far background of it, so it's not like.
I was gonna say, I did not like recall that at all.
Wait, you're telling me Pythor and Scales weren't gay? No, Henry, I'm saying they're not officially gay yet. Did Sally put the sticker on, or did her dad put it on because he loves his gay daughter? That's a good question. I would assume the latter. I think her dad's an ally.
What if her dad is bi?
True. Actually, I didn't consider that. True. I'm glad this episode did result in something too. They could have just had it not result in anything, but it made Zane turn back on his emotions. I agree, and it was powerful.
Mm-hmm. And he turned his emotions on for a really like sweet reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like this episode a lot.
Yeah. Henry says there's 2 female dancers in the couples dance of Prime Empire. I mean, was it officially called a couples? I thought it was just a dancing competition. I don't think they ever called it a couples dance. I thought it was just a 2-person dance. That one I think is. I know people were saying that. I think that one's less blatant. I think 2 women can dance together and it not be. If you want to see it as a thing, you can. But I don't think that one says. Yeah. Canonically, Cole misinterpreted his feelings for Nia's romance when it wasn't. Cole, uninterested in romance, and gets excited by cake when asked about Cole's love. Tommy said Cole loves cake. Aromantic. That's actually my headcanon, too, for Cole.
I would agree with that.
I think that fits with his whole relationship with Vania, too, where at first he's like, is this a thing? And then he's like, nah, actually, I'm good with friends is cool. That's all I want here. And, like, she idolized him. That very much could have been a thing, but he was just not interested.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially if Tommy is kind of like hinted at it.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool representation too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it fits his whole character. Like, I don't see Cole settling down with anybody.
Yeah, I like Cole.
Yeah.
So long.
Okay, then episode 11. This is when they get to Twitchy Tim's place, and Fuji Dove does his little thing where he well, we have the whole scene where the cops come on. They're like, "Have you seen the ninja?" And Twitchy Tim's like, "Yeah, they're right over there, bro."
But the tone he says it, he's like excited to tell them.
Yeah.
It's like when you ask a dog to like give you its toy.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, they're right there."
Yeah. And I mean that matches with his character from the island, and it was also very cool to see him again. Like it was just for a small appearance, but it's like, oh, it's cool to see they're like going back to old characters and stuff.
Yeah. I think I'm going to put Pixel in Cole's Golden Dragon car. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Henry.
And yeah, but then Fuji Dove like knocking over the shelves and saving the day was so funny. That was really good.
Yeah, I hope we get a minifigure of him one day.
Yeah, no, I think after the season he has become towards the top of my list of like minifigures I want. Like
Agreed.
Who else? There was one other one this season.
Misdemeanor.
Oh right, yes, I need a misdemeanor minifigure immediately. So badly.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, I can't believe we have 2 mechanic figures now. Isn't that wild?
I know. Yeah, it is.
I was like, starting with this wave, we now have 5 Harumis, 5 Skylers, 5 Pythors.
Huh.
And these all feel like characters we like never get, but no, we have 5 versions of each of them now. They name drop Crux Necronics in this episode. That confirms they stole a threat. Yep, that was cool too. Yeah, that was very cool. Also, the Kabuki mask person has a very deep voice, and I think I said in my trailer actually, like, oh wow, they sound a lot like Moro. That's because when the Kabuki mask is on, they're voiced by Andrew Francis, Cole's voice actor, and Moro's voice actor, which kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Crux Necronic. So even let's say in the scenario that the old ninja leave the team or they're like dragon form permanently or whatever at the end of the season, and there is a new ninja theme, I do think Crux Necronics will reappear at some point.
I agree, and same with Nauticon, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, they named dropped Dr. Julian in the previous episode too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, James talks about my father, Dr. Julian, once wanted to.
Right, you're right.
That was very cool. They could make such banger sets for these first 12 episodes. Mechanic's truck, the transport truck, and a new Cryptarian give us a lot of the new characters, like the old ninja, like the new ninja. That would actually be a cool January wave. Like, because I assume we're not getting any show in January. If they did a gap between Seabound and this, I doubt we're gonna get a new show in 6 months.
Honestly, I'm okay with 1 season a year.
Yeah, me too. But like a wave, because Skybound Wave 2 is one of the best like show waves we've ever gotten.
Yeah, because it's actually based on the show.
Right, it's actually based on the show rather than the other way around. So
that's all. Legacy is so good.
Yeah, that's what's my legacy. So I would love a second wave, just like terrain, but like yeah, like Henry said, new Cryptarium, Mechanic's truck would be cool. Twitchy Tim Shack. Finally, give us that minifigure.
I would love a Twitchy Tim.
And it comes with Twitchy Tim and Fuji Dove.
Yes. And it can come with a Hound Dog McBride.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of name is that?
It's a Ninjago name. Not
Yeah.
as good as Misdemeanor. Alright, and then finally then this episode ends with the mechanic fight, which I love that fight. I love, like, the Doc Ock arms that he's got.
Agreed.
I like how it ends with, them defeating him and Lloyd dressing up like the mechanic. And then this is the other case of Tommy preemptively answering a Twitter question, where, because my first thought was, like, doesn't Zane have cloaking disguises? And then the very next episode starts with, hey, Zane, remind me why we didn't send you with your cloaking disguise and instead had Lloyd dressed up? Oh, because I have to be here to track him. Oh, okay. Like, that interaction, I mean, it's good that they explain it in the show, but that interaction also purely existed to just be like, no, please don't ask me on Twitter, guys. Please, just let the show happen. Please don't ask me on Twitter. Which is fair. Which is perfectly fair.
100%.
Tommy has every right to do that, because people are annoying on Twitter.
Yep. Alright, final episode.
I don't know if you noticed, but the Kabuki Mask torso is just a recolor of the Legacy Ghost torso. Isn't it just the Season 11 Cole torso with less detail?
What is the Legacy Ghost?
The ghosts in Ninjago Legacy. And, like, the Zane mech.
Oh, dude, I forgot those existed.
Yeah. We get a set in the meeting room with the Pure Vention Warrior, the Kabuki Messenger, the Imposter Among Us, and the non-crystallized villains. That would be really cool, but that's like 7 minifigures for a set.
Sean.
What?
There's an imposter among us.
There's an imposter among us. This episode has really proved that Mechanic could be as much of a threat as any of the other council members. Just because he wasn't a main villain doesn't make him any less formidable. I agree. No, he was very cool. We have two really cool fights in the Mechanic where he fights off the entire gang.
Something else I will say is I kind of love that there are villains that the Ninjago, like, he's not been a main villain, but, like...
Until now.
It's cool. Yeah, no, but, like, it's cool that there are, like, villains that have just kind of existed in Ninjago. Like, I mean, kind of same with Misdemeanor. Like,
yeah,
these are not...
they've slowly been adding more of them, right? It started with Mechanic in Season 6. But then, yeah, then we got Fujidove in Season 11, which, not really a villain, but he's a part of the gang. Captain Soto's another one where he's sometimes a villain, sometimes not. And Misdemeanor, and Ultraviolet has sort of recessed to that. She was a main villain, and now she's more like just kind of there sometimes, but
it's nice. Like,
yeah. Okay, so yeah, episode 6. The Lloyd goes under the lair, and he runs into what are going to become the Vengestone Warriors, and my thought with these, which, I mean, not that the minifigure does not, and minifigure that says don't already confirm it, but this pretty much confirms to me that the Vengestone buyer is the Overlord, because these are just stone warriors made out of Vengestone.
Yep.
Because the Stone Warriors' only weakness was elemental powers, and the Stone Warriors were the Overlord's original army. He was beaten by elemental powers, so how do you improve the Stone Army? Make them immune to elemental powers. Like, that's exactly what it's going to be. Side note, did you buy Garmin on issue 2? I have not yet, because I was going to order it online, but apparently you can only buy it physically in stores.
Yeah, I went to a comic book store to buy it, and they didn't have it.
So annoying. I don't want to go to a comic book store and be like, excuse me, do you have LEGO Ninjago Garmadon? Like,
I might actually try to go to a different one tomorrow. Like, there's a really big one near my house that I could maybe find it.
Yeah, so I do want to get it. Like, part of me is just like, I'll just buy digitally, whatever. But I do want to have it physically.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't they just sell it on their website?
Or at the LEGO store.
Or at the LEGO store, yeah. I don't want to go to the comic book store and ask for, like... Also, I don't have one... I have to drive it 30 minutes to my local comic book store.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. What happened to Misako? They say in the first episode she was out, like, at some, like, faraway library looking for answers to how to bring back Neo, which I have to say, it would be very, very funny if Misako's not in this season and this is actually a finale to the current ninja, and then we just straight up never see it again.
Misako?
Yeah, we just never see her again.
Huh.
Wouldn't that be really funny?
That'd be kind of sad. It would be also funny if they, like, bring her back in, like, the final episode and she's like... Because honestly, a big part of why all this is going down is because they broke a sphere out, and like if she finds some way to like free Nia that doesn't involve taking a sphere out,
It's like,
and
yeah,
she's like,
I visited with Ray and Maya, and they helped me forge new Chrono Steel blades to steal her powers.
yeah, so that happens, and they're like, oh, well.
Something cool when Zane has a map on when he's trying to load, it looks like he ends up on the Dark Island. Some other theory I saw was Primeval Evil's Eye, but both theories are cool. I thought I saw that it ends up at the Oni Temple, right? Primeval Evil's Eye is where the Oni Temple is, yeah. I thought that's the one I think is more likely, and it matches with the giant island rising out of the sky in the trailer, and matches the whole Overlord is an Oni theory. Yeah. Okay, so then, mechanic fight's very cool this episode, but then Lloyd gets in. I love the interaction between all the villains. I've rewatched that part of the episode multiple times, just watching them all interact. I liked Pythor making fun of Sphera for saying revenge over and over again. That was really funny.
Yes.
Mr. F was cool to see. I hope we get some proper backstory on him, and it's not just like, yeah, he's there.
He's sitting there.
Like, he's the newer model, but like how, why, what? Then Kabuki Mask person walks in and goes, "There's an imposter among us." And then it goes dun 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 bum bum. He was heading east, not west. He clearly lands in Primevals. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Where was I? Yeah, so anyway, then we have the Sussy Imposter is revealed. We have big fight scene. I like seeing all the villains in action. I'm so excited to see more of them this season. It was the cool. I like audibly like giggled like a baby when Lloyd started running away and Pythor appeared invisibly to grab him. Because I always forget that is one of Pythor's abilities, is that he can turn invisible. So that was just like, this is season 1. This reminds me of season 1.
It also like is kind of a cool callback to the fact that like Lloyd broke Pythor out and kind of started everything.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And then Mr. F has his big blaster arm. Skull Sorcerer's lame. I'm sorry, he kind of sucks.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy. He looks cool, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I think it was very, very funny that nobody knows Lloyd was the mechanic the whole time. So, I do think it's important to recognize that in-universe, these characters don't see each other the way we see them. And they have to make Lloyd look like Lloyd for the, for the viewers to know that it's Lloyd. But to me at least, my headcanon is, in-universe, he looked a lot closer to how the mechanic actually looks.
The other thing is, none of them really know the mechanic.
That's true. That's also true. Yeah. But they do know Lloyd is the thing. Like,
but like
Lloyd being instantly recognizable as Lloyd, I feel like was probably not as obvious in universe.
Agreed.
Okay, so then Lloyd gets knocked down, and Lloyd gets knocked down, and all the villains surround him, and Kabuki Mask Person goes, "Do you know who I am? I'll give you a hint." And then Andrew Francis starts singing. Wonderful reveal, and takes the mask off, and surprise, it's Harumi. That was such a cool reveal. I'm a very big Harumi fan. Harumi stan. That's my girl.
Harumi.
Very happy to see her back, just because I love Harumi, but also I'm concerned about seeing her back, because I do think her story was ended perfectly. However, now we'll get into this, that we touched on a little bit before. I don't think it's actually her. I have a few suspicions. I think the most likely one is Overlord is an Oni. Oni can shapeshift. This is the Overlord himself messing with Lloyd. Now, he would have to know, he would have to have gained some info about Harumi, like the spider song and stuff, but I feel like this ultra-powerful being can learn how to sing. Because also, like, the Kabuki mask, like, that's a very intensive voice modulator for just a mask to have, and also there was the rat in episode 3 that had the same eyes as the mask. So I think it very easily could be the Overlord. I think Camille is another option because she messed with Lloyd, or what was it, Lloyd or Kai? She messed with before like this.
It was Kai.
Yeah, in tournament where she is very tricky and she likes messing with people's heads. So I think personality-wise, this would fit Camille really well, and we know Camille has been up to some scary business.
Yeah.
What?
I said yeah.
Yeah, she's been up to some evil business, and knowing she's been up to that ever since Hunted, she could have very well have been the Overlord's like the person working for the Overlord all the way back then. She could have been the one making the deals to buy Vensho and whatnot this entire time. I think that would be a cool thing, and then she just disguised herself as Harumi to mess with Lloyd. Omega is another option. I don't think it's Omega, but it's possible. He can technically shapeshift.
Doubt it, though.
Avatar Harumi, like was mentioned before, I think it's possible, but now that the point was mentioned about the memories, I think that's less likely. But I could see it. Avatar Harumi learn Overlord. They're like, hey, educate yourself on the real Harumi so this doesn't happen again. Yeah. I realized the reason it's these villains, not others, because all the other villains are dead / redeemed / lost to time / in a teapot. Yeah. Camille was against Lloyd in tournament. Yes, I know that, but wasn't she messing with Kai? She disguised... Oh, no, she disguised herself as Kai to mess with Lloyd.
Oh,
That's what happened.
I can't really remember tournament that well.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I don't think it's actually Harumi. I feel like that would be weird to bring her back like this. So yeah, I'm very curious to see what's next. This has already been some of the best Ninjago content we've ever gotten. Very excited for what's to come. And now chat, your turn. Chat, any things you want to hear our thoughts on? Any thoughts you have you want us to talk about?
Well, we have, if we're not still doing Ninjago, we could talk about Star Wars.
Do we want to talk about Star Wars, or do we want to save that for next week's actual podcast?
We can mention our thoughts and then also mention it again.
Okay. Tommy has also confirmed that Harumi definitely died. That too. Yeah, Harumi. I could also see. I think I mentioned this earlier that it could be a Garmadon situation where like they revived her, but only the evil parts. I wouldn't like that, but it could happen. Mr. E/F is the goat already. True. That's another thing is I don't think it's Harumi because why would Harumi ever recruit Pythor?
Yeah. When you said that to me, I was like, okay, it's definitely not her.
Right, because, like, her entire motivation is she hates Lloyd for unleashing the Devourer. Pythor is literally the one who did. She would never work with Pythor. Do you think the Crystal King Temple is the Oni Temple? Because I think it is. I agree. I think it also, most likely.
Probably.
I don't think the Overlord is an Oni, but I think the Oni might be one of the first things created by the Overlord since he's created everything darkness, so by proxy he's technically an Oni. Okay, but here's the thing, is the reason I think he's an Oni is, number one, where's the minifigure? I have it right here. Obviously, the mask, very Oni-like. It's got the horns. It connects the same way as the Oni mask. It flips up. So he looks like an Oni, but if he was the dark to the first Binjitsu Master's light. And we know the first Binjitsu Master was half dragon, half Oni, which were light and dark in the first realm. But then they couldn't find balance, so they created the first Binjitsu Master, and he's like, nah, I'm out of here. I'm going to go create good in another realm. So I could see the Overlord being the same thing, half dragon, half Oni, because we know he's part dragon. He turned into a dragon. What's being deleted in the chat?
Oh, he kept saying the same thing over and over again. He just kept saying the Kenobi show is better than Ninjago.
Oh, great point. I hadn't considered that.
I haven't even seen it.
Yeah.
And it was just annoying. He said it like 7 times, and I'm like, hey, stop.
The mask is both Oni-like and dragon-like. That's also true. My point of calling it Oni, because we know he's a dragon. We've seen him become a dragon before. So I think my current running theory is, just like the first Binjitsu Master, he is part Oni, part dragon, but like, the first Binjitsu Master is clearly more dragon than Oni, though. Like, because the dragons are the good guys. So Overlord and First Binjitsu Master are the yin and yang, right? the first Ninjitsu Master is the light with the bit of darkness. The light is the dragon, the darkness is the Oni, and the Overlord is the darkness with the bit of light. The darkness is the Oni, and the white is the light is the dragon. That is my theory. Theory, the Overlord is Wu and Garmadon's mother. Thoughts?
I don't know.
Possible.
Nothing's impossible.
I feel like the Overlord is the only part of the first Ninjitsu Master split off. Now that's interesting. I hadn't considered that. That would be. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
I like how Wu is more dragon and Garmadon's more Oni. That's true. Yeah, that is cool. Why didn't you want Nia to come back? Did I ever say I didn't want Nia to come back?
I did want Nia to come back. I think someone in chat said they didn't want Nia to come back.
Oh, okay. I mean, it would have been cool to have a permanent, like, farewell, but also she's a good character, and I thought they brought her back well, so.
Nia's my second favorite ninja. I didn't want her to die.
I thought the Overlord was native to Ninjago, the Oni is from the first realm. Possibly. They could very easily retcon that, or we could have thought the Overlord was named to Ninjago, but in reality, he was just sent there before the first Ninjitsu Master was. I want to see Wu with an Oni form.
Does he?
I mean, if Lloyd and Garmadon have it, I guess if Garmadon's completely Oni, Wu is... No, but we know Wu does have Oni blood, because that's why the Sons of Garmadon stole baby Wu, because they wanted to use him to get the mask in the Oni temple.
Right.
So yeah, theoretically Wu also has an Oni form.
Yeah.
That'd be very funny.
It would.
I want Nia to come back because the love triangle with Jay and Nia. Cool. I thought it would be too soon to bring her back, but judging by how they did, I think it worked out perfectly. That's how I feel too. At first I was like, it should be like bringing Nia back should be the focus of the season, and they should bring her back at the end. But no, I think they dedicated enough time to it. It was a good arc, and it wasn't like her sacrifice was without consequence. It's not like it's just back to normal now. Like, she is still affected by it. All the ninjas are still affected by it. Like,
it's very well done.
Yeah, and I'm sure we haven't seen too much of Nia in this since the first 6 episodes, but I'm sure we will see more of the consequences of her losing her powers and whatnot. I dropped the Overlord's helmet. There's also the theory that the Overlord is not the Crystal King and somebody else is, and they just are messing with us in the sets. Possible, but not likely. I think it's fun to theorize about, however.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's possible, but not likely.
Yeah. We'll let chat go a little bit. Let's talk about Star Wars for a moment.
Alright.
So what, 2 real sets were revealed and 1 Brickheads was revealed?
Yeah. And
what are the I know one's Obi-Wan Starfighter from Episode 2, and what's the other one?
It's the Imperial Shuttle Scythe from the upcoming Kenobi show.
Right. So the Obi-Wan Starfighter is honestly a really good price for Star Wars, which is weird.
You said the Overlord Starfighter?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
The Obi-Wan Starfighter is a really good price for Star Wars, which is weird, especially this year.
I'm gonna be honest, I think both of these are well priced.
No, they are, which is surprising, because Star Wars is usually badly priced, but especially this year they have even more of an excuse to be badly priced.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna come right out and say I love both of these sets.
Yeah, so, the Obi-Wan Starfighter is $30. I will pick it up, when it comes out. No doubt about it.
Probably not a day one for me, but it is a good set.
It'll probably be a day one for me, because I don't know how much... Oh, yeah, you don't have Ninjago already, so...
Exactly.
But yeah, my August 1st will probably be, like, Peach and that thing. Depending on what else is there. And depending on what LEGO sends me, because August review offers them not sent out yet, so this very much... They've sent me other Star Wars that they could be sending me. I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, of these 2 sets, if I were to get one day one, I'm probably more likely to get the Imperial Shuttle.
See, I have 0 interest in that set, and unless I really love the show, I'm not going to get it.
No? Okay.
I don't care. I literally do not care about that set. Now, the show very much could change my mind. I could be like, whoa, this is cool as heck. And buy it, but...
That's fair. No, that's a fair point, actually. But,
It's just another Star Wars show. It looks like every other one. Like...
I want to see the other Star Wars sets before I'm like, well, I'm going to get this one.
Yeah.
But The Tonway minifigure is incredible.
I think it's good. I don't think it's the best it could have been, though.
I like it. I like
the neck shape is weird to me. But I do like it.
I'm just happy we're finally getting a Kaminoan.
Also, did you see how they do R4 in the ship?
What do you mean?
Like, how they put him into the ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that is the best way they've ever done it.
Agreed, because, like, as a kid, I would always lose the body.
Yeah, right, because there was even sets when I was a kid that didn't even come with the body.
Yeah,
which was weird, but they've done it like that where it's just, you just attach the head and, like, discard the body, and then they have sets where it's, like, a hole, and that feels weird, too. But this one, it's like, it's fully covered up, you just detach the head and put the body inside. I think that's perfect.
Yep, agreed.
And then the big one, I mean, we'll look, on next week's full podcast, we'll look at these again, I'll actually look at the pictures, but it's just a big black Star Wars ship. I don't really care.
Yeah, minifigures are good as heck.
They're good, but I also don't care about the characters yet, at least, so.
Also, the new Obi-Wan figure in the Starfighter is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, agreed. That I'm excited for.
It's going to look very... I think that's probably the same one that's going to come in the ATTE as well. However, with a different... I think that's going to have a different head print and the new Obi-Wan hair.
Yeah.
I'm not positive, but I feel like I saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, transmitting classified info. Like, I just feel like I remember seeing that somewhere. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that figure. I feel like it'll look really good with the newest Mace Windu from the tank, and makes me want, like, an updated Anakin in this, like, really well-detailed style. Yeah, so far, Star Wars is pretty promising this summer.
For sure, yeah. I'm excited. I'm not gonna get the big one, but I'll get the small one. Unless LEGO sends it to me, in which case I will get the big one, because they'll be sending it to me.
Also, Brickheads, pretty good.
Yeah, they're fine. Also, did you see the potentially new Vader?
I saw a pretty reliable person say that that is not going to be the figure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's just for the box art.
Oh, that's a shame. That's really dumb.
But yeah, I did see that. If it is real, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know much else to say. The small set's good, big set's fine. I do find it very funny that the figures that, like, all the LEGO Star Wars nerds, like, are like, oh, this one's pump this figure, it's gonna rise in value, buy it for $160. They're both in that set.
Yep.
It's so stupid. I hate LEGO Star Wars fans, man.
I'm right there with you. Worst.
Also, how impatient do you have to be? Like, the show wasn't even out yet, and that figure rose from, like, a $20 figure to a $160 figure, and now it's just gonna plummet again, because you're gonna be able to buy it in the set.
It's almost identical to the old one, too,
yeah.
I think.
No way, Emma's here. Shout out to Emma. Real one.
Emma Stanley.
Kind of sad when Star Wars is better prices than Ninjago. It's kind of sad when Star Wars has better prices than, like... What is happening this year where Monkey Kid and Star Wars have the best prices?
I don't know.
I mean, Minecraft is still pretty good. Like, it's definitely worse than it used to be, but still pretty good. Speed Champion... we haven't seen Summer Speed Champions, but I assume Speed Champions will be... I'm gonna cry if Speed Champions goes up to $25.
I was thinking it could happen.
I mean, it'll be fine. Those sets are fine for $25, honestly. Like, I don't mind paying that, but $20 is great. I like paying $20 a lot more.
Yeah.
But... these people are treating, like... LEGO Star Wars Rebels minifigures like they have the stock market. Like, no, bro, it's not that deep.
I hate that stuff.
Ninjago has a lot of transparent colors right now, which is why, yeah, but that's not it. That doesn't justify all of it. Because, like, yeah, the Gold Dragon also uses a lot of gold, which is expensive, and there's a lot of exclusive minifigures. That helps justify the prices a little bit. But, like, Kaiser, in no world should Kaiser Raider be $90. That one, like, that piece count we have gotten in $40 sets for Ninjago before. But because of the gold pieces, because of the transparent pieces, because of the big pieces, because of the minifigures, that could be 60 or maybe 70. Not 90. Not
yeah,
a
I would wait
$90
for
set.
that.
I would never have guessed a Monkey Kid set would be a better price per part than, and value than Temple of Air Jitsu, yeah. That new big Monkey Kid set has more pieces than the Temple of Air Jitsu for $20 less.
Huh.
Wacky.
That's really weird.
I think we should probably wrap up, though.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm tired.
I'm tired, and I have this bright light shining in my face for 2 hours at this point, and it hurts my eyes. So thank you everybody for watching this week's episode of the Woo Crew Podcast live. It's been a fun one. Thanks everybody for coming out. This was fun. We should do this more often.
I agree. Are you going to be posting the other one as like a lost episode?
Yeah, if you guys want to see Matthew talk to himself, I'll post it on Mind IRL in a couple days.
I feel like you should. I feel like I kind of want to see it. It sounds fun.
I'll post the lost episode. If anyone actually wants to do a fan dub of my part of the podcast, feel free.
That'd be so funny.
I think Coast Cruise is a reasonable price. It's one of the more reasonable prices this way, but still probably should be 40 or even 35. But it's fine. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed, press like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, become a YouTube member if you want to join the Discord, get lots of cool benefits, like, shoutouts and everything. Jovan Condola, we both have significant others that we're very happy with, but thank you for that comment. I appreciate it.
What did he say?
Read the chat.
Oh. Wow. I think he's mad that I muted him earlier.
Oh. Well.
Because he's the one who I muted.
I think I'm going to pull an Uno reverse card on that one, buddy.
Nice.
Thanks for watching, everybody. See y'all in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hold on, wait. I forgot. We're live. I have to do this live. Bye-bye.
Go. Welcome to the Council of the Crystal King, Sean.
Oh, yeah?
There's imposter among us.
Oh, no. Hey, Matthew, I have a question.
Yes.
If you agree to Council of the Crystal King, what does that make?